Good morning. It's really a fantastic journey we have enjoyed working with various state governments to try and improve learning outcomes in children studying in government schools. It is important to understand the change model which Sampark Foundation adopted. ADKAR model of change means that unless the people involved in the change want the change would not happen. And therefore, it is important to follow an architecture of bringing about a mindset change, a behavior change in the people who are going to get impacted for the change to become permanent and change to create a kind of impact which we have seen in multiple places. I've written a book, Employees First, Customer Second, also on the ADKAR model of change. And the first step is to create awareness so that the person knows that there is a need for change. Without a need for change, there will be no change unless the soil is ready. And you grow a seed in the soil, the change will not happen unless the soil is ready. So creating an awareness for change, I call it need for change. The second is a desire for change. Mahatma Gandhi was a great example that he created a need for change by educating the entire country that we are under the British rule, we are not free, and then creating a desire for freedom by saying that we as a country can be independent of the British Raj. So he created awareness and then he created a desire. This is exactly the transformation model we followed at HCL, and this is exactly the transformation model we are following in education transformation across. The third step is delivering knowledge. So now that my desire is to change, how do I change? Delivering knowledge. And the fourth is to convert that knowledge into ability so that it becomes permanent with me. And the last is reinforce that knowledge so that I constantly innovate and constantly improve. So following the ADKAR model of change for transformation is the only way we believe learning outcome can be dramatically shifted in our states. Now, let me talk about the child focus. In our design thinking, the way we are focusing on the child is we need to make the child aware of the learning gaps, and therefore we need to adopt what we call the known to unknown and simple to complex pedagogy of teaching. Therefore, when you go to a child and say, do you know what a ball is? And the child says yes. And do you know what a planet is? The child says no. So it's clearly established of what I know and what I don't know. So he's aware of what he does not know or she does not know. And therefore the desire, the next step, gets to learn what a planet is, gets originated. The second is to instill a desire to learn. You have to make it fun. Children are fun beings, and therefore we have brought Sampark Smart Shala TLMs, whether it is Sampark Didi in audio device or board games or rubber letters. These teaching learning materials are critical components of teaching to create a desire to learn, to do more. They experiment. So you're doing an addition board game. Now you want to do a multiplication board game. Then you want to do a division board game. You're creating a puzzle of science. You've done body parts with science. Now you suddenly want to do food and habit with science, or you want to do with water cycle with science, and you want to complete that puzzle. So it is very important to give manipulative to children to be able to create the desire to learn. And then there is knowledge. Knowledge is, you have to teach a child in a very systematic process. And worldwide pedagogies have proven to make learning easy. And those are what we adopt in Sampark Smart Shala. In math, we adopt what we call concrete to abstract, teach in concrete and then abstract. And in English, to great success, we have adopted listening, speaking using audio device in Sampark Didi before reading and writing using our workbooks. So methodology, a correct methodology, what we say sahi kram, sahi dhang se, padhane se hi knowledge disseminate hoti hai. But knowledge is not anything. There are so many videos out there and so much. YouTube is full of learning videos. Even Diksha is full of learning videos. None of that will create learning outcomes unless we have convert that learning in the systematic process into what we call ability. That will only happen if we give them a scientifically designed workbook which follows the same practice, known to unknown, simple to complex, concrete to abstract, LSRW. So unless the workbooks are designed in that pedagogy, so it's not that you are teaching division or multiplication, it is how you are teaching it. That is the reason the workbooks are very, very critical. And then you reinforce it by MCQs, by helping the child play a game, because now the unknown has become known. So you reinforce it by helping the child play a Kaun Banega Crorepati kind of an assessment game, where the child can attempt it 10 times, 20 times, whatever number of times till the child gets 80% marks. And in every attempt, the child is learning what he knows or what she does not know, and that is how the learning is. So in Sampark Foundation, the ADKAR model of change is a sequential process for the change to happen. So just giving videos or just giving workbooks or just giving textbooks or just doing one thing is not going to result into learning outcome change, and we believe it is a systematic process which we need to follow to drive change. Now, this change will not happen unless a critical component of change, which is the teachers, participate in the change. And therefore, Sampark Foundation has adopted what we call a teachers first philosophy, that we will not be in the classroom. We will enable, enthuse, encourage the teachers to execute this ADKAR model of change in the classroom transaction. So how do we bring about a radical change in teachers' thinking? Now, fortunately, I have an experience of bringing about a change in 1 lakh employees of HCL through Employees First, Customer Second, and I believe through the Teachers First program, which we have in Sampark Foundation, we have been radically being able to change the mindset of 1.6 lakh teachers who we have trained so far in thinking differently about learning outcomes and classroom transaction. So the first we do is we create an immersive training program, where we create the need for change. Do you understand that the learning outcomes are low? Do you understand there is a new way of teaching which will make your job easy, which will make the child's job easy? So we spent the first half of a day creating awareness of the gaps in our programs today and how they can make a difference. So once they become aware, they become uncomfortable and saying, okay, now we have become aware, tell us how we can change. And that creates the desire for change. Now, the desire for change will come from pride, right? We need to give them pride. What is in it for them? So in our training program in the first day, we focus on, okay, this is the way you can solve this problem. We do workshops with them on problem solving skills. We show them how they can teach division, they can teach fraction, they can teach phonic words, they can teach water cycle in a very easy way, which makes teaching easy, which makes learning easy. That creates a desire for them. Tell us more, tell us more. So by end of the first day of this immersive training, the desire for the teacher to learn increases manyfold. And that is the time we bring knowledge. Now we bring knowledge in mock classroom videos. One is to educate your teachers on concept of fraction or division or multiplication or decimals or even English and science, and the teacher will forget by the time the teacher reaches the classroom. And therefore we focus on giving the tools to the teacher in mock classroom videos so that there is a sahi kram and sahi dhang to teach the concept, and teacher knows where to go to find that. That's the way we give knowledge. And then we convert that knowledge into ability by going to the classroom and seeing where the teacher is using what she has learned in the classroom, and therefore convert the knowledge into ability, monitor it, give the report school-wise, give the report block-wise, district-wise, so that the entire state machinery gets together to make sure that the knowledge gets converted into ability. And once it gets converted into ability, then there is nothing left. And the last reinforcement is very critical. Teachers, like children, get bored very easily. Therefore, it is very important to bring something refreshing, something new every year so that the teachers remain excited. Only if the teachers are excited would the children be excited. And that is the reason we bring new innovations, new ideas in our program. Our teacher training program across the state has seen attendance of 106, 108%. So that means not only the teachers who are invited attend, but even the teachers who are not invited attend, because they know that it is going to be fun, it is going to be a new learning, and there is going to be a lot of innovation. Now, the drive of innovation in to execute the ADKAR model has to be elements of change, as was talked about design thinking. And we have used 12 elements of change to drive the ADKAR model of change. As you know, we work with class KG to 8. After the NEP, we have added class KG. We work on math, we work in English, we work in science. In different states, we work at different stages of evolution, but this is our entire program, class KG to 8, math, English, and science. There are 12 elements which have been critically designed using design thinking, 12 innovative elements which we use to drive long-term permanent change in learning outcome. The first falls into what we call the classroom resources. That is where the critical element of learning happens. So unless you bring innovation in the classroom resources, the rest is a failure. So we have brought Sampark Smart Shala, Science Kit, Math Kit, English Kit. All these kits are manipulatives to help the teacher teach so that teaching becomes easy and learning becomes easy. We have brought scientifically devised workbooks which follow those new pedagogies so that the learning, the knowledge gets converted into ability. Sampark Smart Shala is a new program which we are bringing, and I will talk more about it. It is to convert the classroom into a smart classroom, so that the teacher can use you have seen Amazon Fire Stick. So by putting a Fire Stick, Amazon, a TV gets converted into an Amazon, and there is a huge amount of Amazon content which you can find on the screen. So like Amazon Fire Stick, Sampark Smart Shala TV has a stick. You connect that to a television, and as soon as you connect that to the television, the entire content and these 12 elements, which is workbooks, content, assessment, games, stories, rhymes, all that is going to be available at the local TV without the use of the internet, which the teacher can access, and we will talk more about Sampark TV. So these are the three broad resources of innovation we are bringing into the classroom. But that's not good enough unless you give the resources to the teachers to teach. Our biggest resource is a lesson plan, scientifically defined lesson plan of how to teach. We have mapped each lesson plan to the SCRT textbooks, and therefore we tell the teacher how to teach each, what videos to see before she goes to the classroom, what activities to do, what are the known errors which the children do, and therefore to make sure that she covers those. What is the kind of assessment questions she should write on the board so that she knows who knows what. So all that is in the lesson plan. She exactly knows what to teach, when to teach, how to teach, so that whatever we have done with her, she is able to execute in the classroom. Then we gave her the teaching videos, as I said, the mock videos, so that she remembers how to teach fraction and decimal, just in case she has forgotten. And then we give her gamified assessment. It is very important that NEP has said that assessment should not be used as an evaluation platform, but as a learning platform. And we have given this tool to the teacher to be able to use as a learning platform at the end of every lesson. So there are 10,000 multiple choice questions which are there given to the teachers so that she understands and puts that in the progress chart of what child knows how much, and therefore she can club them together to teach them better. So we have classroom resources, we have teacher resources. Now comes to how do we execute it, and therefore teacher training is a very, very important element. I already talked about it, that pedagogy training is an immersive experience in science, in maths, in English. We've added 2 new trainings which we are offering this year. One is a 90-day program. I'll talk more about it, which is that after 500, 600 days of not being in school, the children are going to come. And therefore the adoption and coming into the school is going to be different. So we offer a training to our teachers of how to onboard children in the first 90 days. We believe BRC CRCs are going to be playing a very important role. We are offering a mentoring program for BRC CRC. So teacher training is the third stool on which our ADKAR strategy. And the fourth, which is very critical, to reinforce school monitoring. We do baseline, endline across all classes, across all subjects. We have created an analytics dashboard which we give to the state so that they can see the data from assessment from the class, data from monitoring of the class, data from our Sparks monitoring feeds into the dashboard, so you can see on a real-time basis how it is. And if there are Sampark TV installed, the real-time data from Sampark TV will also be pushed into this dashboard. We are also giving a class observation platform to CRC, BRC as part of the training, so that what to observe, how to observe, to be able to make a maximum impact. So these are the 12 elements of change which drive the ADKAR model, and that is the reason we believe we are able to make a transformative change. So once again, to summarize, it is very critical for everybody to understand that we believe that elements of change, giving a video, giving a workbook, giving a textbook, doing teacher training here, teacher training there, I don't think that is going to have the kind of impact if we follow a systematic process of change. And in Sampark, our focus is to try and see if we can follow this systematic process of change to be able to bring about a radical change. Thank you so much.